How are you doing today?
Good, how are you?
What's your name?
Destiny.
Destiny?
You want my whole name?
I need your whole name.
Okay. I'll do it. We can start again. I don't know if that messes it up.
No, it's alright.
Okay, cool.
Destiny, tell me a little bit about yourself. Like, what was life like growing up?
Life was very interesting. I grew up a Jehovah Witness, so you can only imagine the structure and sternness in the household.
Yeah.
So I grew up going door to door in a religion, but also being a wild child, so living a double life and struggling with self-identity.
Now, excuse my ignorance, but is that the same as like Mormon? Like,
No, I mean, honestly, I grew up a Jehovah Witness. They don't believe in the Trinity. They don't believe in hell. They just believe that there's like everlasting life and God's gonna come and end the world and save everyone.
so what were some of the biggest challenges you faced?
I would say self-identity, but also there was a lot of addiction in my family. So between alcoholism and drugs, I saw a lot of that growing up, and that was kind of like everyone's outlet. And as someone who struggled with self-identity, I wouldn't say that it became my outlet, but later in life, it was something that I gravitated towards because it was something that I saw in my upbringing and a way to heal, but in reality, it was no way to heal.
How did it affect you?
I would say I didn't know how to self-cope. I didn't know what to do with my big feelings, and I kind of isolated myself, but also seeing what it did to my family, it kind of made me not only introverted, but I started suffering with mental health issues.
How long has that been going on?
I would say I finally got it under control as far as my depression goes, and getting myself out there. What really saved me was art. Art saved me. People, community, the art community saved me, truthfully.
Was there a moment that changed the direction towards life for you?
I would say when I was at my lowest, I knew I had to figure out what I was going to do. I knew that I had to do something big with these feelings, and I started writing. I started using any color to kind of depict whatever it was that I was feeling and putting it on a canvas. All right, can we start that question again? You asked me and I forgot. I'm like, fuck. Okay.
It's okay. It's okay. Well, I was asking what moment changed the direction of your life.
Okay.
And so you said you started writing and painting.
Cool.
What were you writing?
I was writing what I was scared to say out loud to people. I was writing what I was scared to face. I was writing what I avoided for so many years. I would say truly color therapy also was a game changer for me, looking at colors as emotions and not just colors itself. And when I didn't find the words, I would use the colors to...
What's color therapy?
So let's say if you're angry, you use red, because red is fire, passion. If you feel a level of darkness and just like extreme rage, you can use black and just paint the whole canvas dark. Yellow for when you're happy or, just like a good mood. So using color in that way that I wasn't able to use my words.
So using color therapy,
Color therapy, yeah.
Color therapy kind of help you change like how you regulate your emotions.
Yes.
So I'm guessing that's like help shape who you are as an individual.
Yes.
Today.
I identify as the color yellow.
As the color yellow. So what else has helped you, during these difficult times? Like what's kept you going? What's kept you like
The driving factor of like
driving factor?
I would say definitely community, especially because without community, I would still be in a big depression. I found out about this statistic, and it's been something I've been saying over and over. After COVID, there was a high epidemic of loneliness and
Of what?
of loneliness,
Oh.
and the toll that loneliness takes on your body equates to 15 cigarettes. So if you think about it in that way, like loneliness is actually bigger than what we realize as far as the emotional toll that it has on your body. So if it wasn't for the art community, I would still be lonely. I would still feel lost. I would still not have my voice. But it's the people who dare to be, the people who dare to create, the people who don't use their words but use ink on canvas that not only tell stories that I see myself in, but kind of create a segue and also being a catalyst for those who aren't sure of how to even begin that process or what it might look like. But when you step into these spaces and you immerse yourself not only with the people and the art, you realize that I too can be that creative. I too can be that voice. I too have a voice. So I would say the art community.
Were there any people along the way that that made some significant like impact on your life that has helped you, I guess, find different areas of yourself that you didn't know about?
Yes, there's a handful of people in the art community that not only are change makers and are bulldozing in the community itself, they have shown me that if you have enough curiosity, if you have enough audacity, and if you dare to dream, then there's no ceiling that you can't break. And I think that as someone who grew up in the hood, a lot of people have limiting beliefs and they think that I don't belong in this space or I can't get what this person has as far as like accolades or, success. So me being around these individuals, not only did it show me that I don't have to be the person that I was, but I could be whatever I want to be. I could be whoever I want to be, and I can create whenever, whatever, and it can be in museums too. So I think surrounding yourself with people who look at life in the grand scheme of it all, like as something that isn't limiting, and it's not something that, like, it's not a box. And I find that when you surround yourself with these people who are making moves and making changes and checking off boxes as far as what success means to them. And I say what success means to them because a lot of people identify success in an array of ways. So, success might be to someone being happy, whereas for someone it's like getting my art in the art museum. So I think finding your voice yourself, but surrounding yourself with people who are passionate as well. So that, I don't know, I kind of like went on a tangent.
Do you feel successful so far? Yeah.
I do. I feel successful. I feel rich in life just because I found myself. I'm happy with my body. I'm happy with my voice. I'm happy with the changes I've made in my life, and also like breaking generational curses and limiting beliefs, and being that one person who dares to dream and dares to put themselves in these environments. And honestly, I'm the only person in my family who I would say dares to think big, where it's like, I could have my art. I will have my art in the Met one day. Or somebody might think I'm crazy, but it's like, if you want to keep your 9 to 5 and be safe, by all means. No shade to anybody that wants to do that, but I know that I don't want a cap in my pay. I want to control whatever I make and there not be a ceiling. And I want to do that while creating.
What do you mean by you're the only one in your family to think big?
A lot of my family, I feel like they are a product of their environment. They are product of their environment. So, yeah. So, the drinking still being an addiction, the drugs, the, staying in the hood, being in gangs, fighting, that sort of thing. I knew that I wanted more out of life, and I taught myself to have that curiosity to dive into things that no one ever in my family talked about. So it's like I'll dive in psychology books, into YouTube videos, whatever it is, to kind of just, how can I think different? How can I act different? How can I speak different? How can I get my message across in a way, whereas it's more rah in the hood. It's like, you gotta use your fist, and it's like, no, I'm ready to use my word. Shoot, let's draw something together. Like, let's dance it out or something. So.
So looking back now, what lesson or message would you leave with others who struggle with, let's say, mental health or addiction or identity, trying to find themselves as a person?
I would say, while you're figuring out who you are, this is what I wanted to say this before all this. It's okay to not know who you are. While figuring out who you are, it's okay to not know who you are. It's important to know who you're not. And that will save you. And as far as addiction goes, I would say look inside and ask yourself what's making you pick up these vices. Start there. What is it? Is it your sadness? And when you find that you're sad, what can you replace before you pick that up? And, you know, it's not going to be easy. You know, I smoked, I drank, I did it all. And for me, what made me stop was the fact that I felt like I was relying on something to make me feel something. And I thought, when am I going to do the work and rely on myself? And how do I do that? So I just, cold turkey, I was like, I'm not going to smoke, I'm not going to drink. And life got better. It wasn't easy. You know, you have your moments where you go out, you drink, your friends are drinking and they're smoking, but it really comes down to your why and sitting with yourself to ask, is this something I want to do, or am I doing it because of my environment? And then go from there.
I think that pretty much sums it up.
Yeah. Sweet.
All right, Destiny, thank you so much.
Thank you. I had no idea what I was going to talk about.